Hello again, AP Stats. I got a couple more things in terms of the actual College Board AP exam. And the first thing I do want to just start right off the bat with is this document is another teacher's document. And so the information she has here is correct. However, we in Wisconsin are not Eastern or whatever EDT is. I don't know. I don't know what time zones. So your exam is Friday, May 22nd, 2020, but at 1 p.m. Anywhere you see 2 p.m., it's really going to be 1 p.m., and I'll try and kind of mention that, but just want to get that right off the bat. The other thing is, if you have another AP exam, you will probably take, well, no, you will take that before the AP stats because we are the last one. And so probably you'll feel a little bit better by the time you come to take the AP stats exam. However, if this is your first, this is really good information. So first, how to access the exam. Um, as mentioned, please make sure that you are ready for the exam. It starts at 1 p.m., not 2 p.m., 1 p.m., and so you should probably be near your computer about 30 minutes early. It cannot hurt to just be ready. You are going to access your exam using an e-ticket. It looks like this, and you will be emailed it 2 days before your test. On exam day, you're going to click the Go to Exam link. So it's going to be this yellow button right here. And this is going to be available 30 minutes before your exam time. Your e-ticket is personalized, so you can't give it to someone else, not that you would. And if you're taking more than one AP exam, you will get a different ticket for each exam. Let's see, what else? How to take the exam. So once the exam begins, the timer will show 30 minutes to submit the first question. I wonder, actually, I'll make this bigger. Sorry. Okay. You get 25 minutes to read and write your answer and 5 minutes to respond. Then your second question will appear, but you cannot go back to the first. It will be 20 minutes, again, 15 minutes to read and write and 5 minutes to submit. You will always have a timer visible at the bottom of the window, so make sure that you have that visible. And when there's 5 minutes left, your timer is going to turn red, and it will tell you to submit your essay. You obviously can keep working, but I would be very careful that you don't go too far over that limit of 5 minutes because you don't want to come to some issue with uploading. So what happens if you run out of time? If the timer runs out before you have submitted your response, there is nothing you can do. Okay, that's really important. Make sure you submit some response. You will not be allowed to submit a late response or take the makeup exam. Therefore, it is important to submit your responses on time, even if it's not complete. Oops, I did not mean to click. You might not earn all the points, but you will definitely get a lot more credit than if you do not do anything. So when you see this red 5 minutes, I would start submitting your work. To view the question, once the exam begins, the question will be displayed in your browser, on your laptop, tablet, or smartphone, whatever you're taking the exam on. There is no way to digitally annotate. So you're going to either use like a scratch piece of paper or type it in another window in a Google Doc or something. And okay, well, this is just, there's no space to type your response within the exam window. So you're going to have 2 windows open. And when you're ready to submit, you're going to either attach a response, so like a picture, or paste a response. That would be like if you type it in Google Docs or Microsoft Word. So there's 3 different ways to do this. And again, this is something made from another teacher, so I don't know necessarily what I would say are the best options, but we're going to go through all 3. Option 1 is to copy and paste a typed response. So that would be having 2 documents open, typing your words, and then copying and pasting it into the response. The second would be to attach a typed response. So like same thing, type the response, but then you save it as a PDF and upload it. And then the third would be to write on a piece of paper and upload a handwritten response. Now, if you are going to copy and paste, like in a Google Doc, make sure your College Board number and initials are on the top of every page. And I want to kind of show you a couple pros and cons of each of these things. We'll go to present still. So this teacher is recommending this option. I think you have to figure out what's best for you. So the option 1 is to copy and paste a typed response. And if you have a laptop or a desktop computer, supposedly College Board says this is a good option. You would have two different browsers open. You'd have your AP exam and then let's say a Google Doc. Before your exam, prep that Google Doc and make sure that your AP ID and your initials are on the top of each page. So maybe type out 5 different pages with that information. And then all you're going to do is copy and paste. Oops, I did not mean to click. Okay, copy and paste. Now, obviously the benefits to this is that, well, for example, if you're using Google Docs, it's going to save automatically. You don't have to worry about that. But you also, the benefit would be you get to see the exam while you're working on it. You'd have 2 different windows. One of the negatives is that obviously if you're typing, you can't really type math symbols very well, and so you'd have to be able to type out the words for AP. And I would say for the most part, this isn't going to be super challenging because I don't think a lot of the questions are going to be based on computations. They're going to be more interpreting. So I do think this is a very viable response. It is going to be a little different. So if this is something you want to try it, maybe try it on our exam this week and see how it goes. What else? Okay, option 2 is to attach a document and click submit. So this would be if you are doing pretty much the same thing as the last one, but instead of copying and pasting, you would then need to save your document as a doc, a PDF, a text file, or something like that, and then attach your response. The benefits here would pretty much be that, I mean, you can see both pages because you have 2 documents open, and obviously the cons are the same as the first option. The next option, and this one is kind of important to look at, is to handwrite. When you handwrite, then you need to take a picture and submit. The catch is, if this is the option you want, you probably want to be taking the exam on your phone. And the con, or the negative to that, obviously, is that you are looking at a full free response question on a phone. So let's read this real quick. Make sure if you're writing this response, you write your AP ID, initials, etc. at the top of each page. Write your response clearly with a dark pen or pencil, and take a photo of your response in a vertical orientation, not landscape. Okay, that's important. 1 page per photo, so you can't put like 3 pages. You got to take a picture of each of your pages, and there's a maximum of 5 photos per test question. Make sure you attach all of your pages, and it has to be a PNG, JPEG, or JPG file. The issues with this, or the cons, would be supposedly the default iPhone photo is a .heic. I don't know if this is true, but that's what someone else is telling me. So I would maybe just see what your iPhone saves. You can turn that off, and if you have an idea of what I'm talking about, great. If you have no idea, maybe we can troubleshoot this week. The other issues or the cons would be that you have to scroll on your phone to see this, and so you probably will not see the timer directly in front of you, and so that might be a negative thing. The plus side would be that you can write, which is how you've been doing this all year, which is definitely a plus. But I don't know, it's a little bit of both. Now, there is technically, here's a document I've kind of been looking at, and I should have had it. I wonder if I'm going to be able to do this. Okay, I should have had this open the whole time, but sorry, I didn't. Oh, fun. Okay, so we talked about option 1, just on the computer, browser window on a computer, typing into a document, and then copying and pasting. We talked about the cons being that you can't really type math very well, but the pros would be if you're doing something like Google Docs, it saves automatically. Option 2 we already talked about was the same as the last one. You have a browser window on your computer, but you're typing into a file and then saving that file as a PDF and uploading that. Cons, I guess, again, same. You can't really type math, but the pro would be that you are just attaching 1 file. Let's see if I can move. Okay, whatever. Option 3, the one we were just talking about, would be accessing the exam on your phone and writing all of the work out on a piece of paper and then taking a picture and uploading those. Again, pros would be you don't have to deal with typing math, but you do have to upload a photo, which might take a little bit of time, not really a lot, but You must scroll on your phone to see the question, like the AP question, and you will not see the timer while you're working. So that's an issue. Now, this teacher proposed a couple other options. Option 3, I don't really like this one. It says access on your phone, print out the questions, handwrite it on that, and then take a picture. I don't know. I would say probably don't do this. That's just me. But option 4 is also a possibility. So for option 4, I'm going to say this is 4 over here. You have the browser window open. So just like option 1, you have your test on your computer screen, but you are handwriting your responses on paper. Then you take a picture of your work, send it to yourself, either upload to Drive or email it to yourself, and then submit it from the computer, not from the phone. The benefit here is that you can write and you are able to see the entire thing. But one of the cons would be that, well, AP doesn't recommend it. I don't know, that's not really a big thing. But you have to transfer your photo files from your phone to your computer. So these kind of things might take a little bit of time, and it could be one of the risks. I don't know necessarily what the best option is. I guess the bottom line is whatever you choose, make sure you have enough time at the end to upload your work. So really, truly, when you see that 5 minutes left, take that into consideration. All right, what else do we got? What will your computer screen look like? We kind of talked about keeping both visible, window 1 being your exam, window 2 being either a Word document or a Google document. If you're handwriting, obviously you'll just have the exam. Make sure you have all of the headers that are needed. You must type and write your AP ID and the initials at the top of the page. So this was that teacher's initials, I'm assuming. I would do like EMW, College Board number. Handwriters, your AP initials must be visible at the top of each page. So if you want to prep that first, maybe take 5 pieces of paper, write it out. Even if you don't use all 5, then you're ready. Obviously, set this up before time if you can. What to expect on test day. The day of the test, check in 30 minutes before the exam starts. Complete the exam security and identity screening. Wait for the exam to begin. The exam will begin automatically on time. Do not refresh your browser or log out. Take the exam, which will be 50 minutes total. Again, this information, it starts at 1 p.m., so make sure you're checking in at 12:30. If you can, it's good to have a quiet testing environment. I know that all of your homes are very different, so do your best here. I realize that that's a challenge. If you can, ask your family to not be streaming something at this time, but again, I realize that's not necessarily possible, so just do your best. What would go if something goes wrong while testing? If you accidentally close the browser, your device crashes, or you temporarily lose internet access, you can quickly click your exam e-ticket and return to the exam. Continue the exam, and if you feel it negatively impacted your performance, you can request a makeup. During the exam, do not refresh your browser or hit the back arrow, and don't call. Nothing's really going to help there. What else? What resources can you use? Again, we've talked about this, but you can use your open notes and technically anything, but the longer you spend looking for these things, the less time you have to write. So I would say do your best, like writing everything down, taking pictures, and then honestly, after you've written everything you already know, maybe look through your notes. Don't obviously cheat. Don't do that. And review your contact information before exam day. Check to make sure your technology is good. If you're doing a browser, Chrome is going to be recommended. Internet Explorer will not work. If you have Grammarly on your Google Chrome, make sure you have uninstalled that. I guess it's going to be an issue. If you're handwriting, make sure you have paper and pencil utensils. Take a demo photo of your paper just to make sure that your lighting and framing and file type is good. Do the AP exam demo. Okay, this is not a requirement for me, but it was a requirement for that teacher. So I'm assuming. I don't know, maybe you have to do it. Okay, I don't really know. I think this is just for this teacher. And then make sure everything is ready for your exam day. And also, probably Wednesday, double check that you got the email. Let's see. Okay, I think we're kind of good here, so I'm actually going to stop. The rest of this is really good. The last thing, I guess, is that your AP exam score, a 1 through 5, will be released on July 15th. And if you're a senior, you can sign into the College Board before June 20th to select the colleges or universities you want your scores sent to for free. And I am going to get a copy of your answers without scores, of course, on May 26th. So that's kind of interesting and fun. I hope this was helpful. If there's any questions you have, let me know. And have a great